This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball EXCEL Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1978-81 Fall Carryover League Wildcard Game, the fourth and final one between the Cubs and the Dodgers in LA. Just a quick summary of what's taken place thus far in the first three games. Beginning in the American League, we started with the Brewers could not defeat the Angels. They lost that game, so the Angels, division winners, knock off a wild card team and have to wait to see who they play. When up top, Baltimore goes to New York. The Orioles are able to defeat the division-winning Yankees, so you do have a wild card team advancing as a 6th seed. So as number 6 Baltimore plays number 1 Kansas City, and you'll have number 4 California playing number 2 Cinderella Cleveland Indians. In the National League, we've only had the one game, and it was the Braves, winners of the East, with a 17-14 cumulative record, one of the weakest records, knocking out the surprise Las Vegas team. They're going to have to wait and find out what happens today between the Cubs-Pirates. Cubs, Cinderella in their own right. Had a nice year, though, 17-12. All the big Cub players from this era are coming up big and need to continue doing that. If they win this game, they'll play the Pirates. If the Dodgers win the game, they will visit the surprising number 2 Portland expansion team in the divisional round, and the Braves would face the Pirates. So today, we are out in LA. Oh my gosh, folks. Your pitching matchup, your Chicago Cubs, longtime Cub Rick Russell. 1978, he was a 14-game winner with a 3.41 ERA in 243 innings. He is a starter 7, but they have Bruce Sutter in relief 2, maybe asked to pitch 3 innings perhaps in a wild card game, as I would let the Hall of Famer do that if necessary. It's one game after all. And for the Dodgers, who else but Don Sutton, his magnificent 1980 card. Only 13 wins, didn't get support from his team. 2.21 ERA in 212 innings. And they have a nice bullpen of Steve Howe, Bobby Castillo, Terry Forster, Tom Bruno. But the Stars are out today in LA. For the Cubs, you know about Kingman, and you know about Buckner, and Suter, the great closer. For the Dodgers, it's the same old guys. It's Lopes and Garvey and Say and Reggie Smith. They brought in Kirk Gibson sooner than they would have normally brought him in the early with his 81 card. Enough prologue here. It's Rick Russell for the Cubs, Don Sutton for the Dodgers. Let's get started. Leading off for the Cubs will be Heidi Cruz. 1-7 is a strikeout. Bobby Mercer. 6-12 flies into center field. And with 2 outs, it's Enos Cabell. 68 is a fly ball to right. Sutton makes quick work of the Cubs. Bottom half, leading off is Davey Lopes. 34 is a walk for the dangerous Double-A Steeler. Now the Cubs, they had a good throwing catcher, Buck Martinez, on the bench today as a -1 arm, as he doesn't hit Sutton very well. And they're going with Mike Sadik, but he's got a +1 arm. And that is certainly going to entice the Lopes of the Dodgers to attempt a steal, and he is going to attempt one right now. But he rolls a 19, a huge break for the Cubs immediately. Lopes seemed to give up a little bit at the end of the slide there, and he got tagged out. A Double-A Steeler thrown out by the +1 arm of Mike Sadik, and that's your first big moment of the game. Kirk Gibson. 4-10 off Russell. Triple 1-4, single ... It's a base hit. Single-A Steeler. And you know what? Garvey gets into a lot of double plays, so Gibson's going to take off. He is, however, safe on a 7. Runner at second, 1 out for Steve Garvey. 2-11 pops to third, and with 2 outs, it's the dangerous Reggie Smith. 6-12 for the right fielder is a walk off Russell's card. 2 on, 2 outs for Dusty Baker. 4-10 for Dusty Baker. It's clean and deep and gone. That's out of here. Russell gives up homers to righties, and that, unfortunately, is one of them. Dusty Baker, one of his 29 homers in 1980, couldn't come at a better time. A 2-out, 3-run homer off of the Russell card, and it's 3-0. Ron Say, 46, bounces to second X. Dave McKay, the second baseman, is a 3-14. And he boots the ball. Are the Cubs too young and green for this playoff experience? They seem to be nervous today, and they could turn us into a mess if they don't get another out. It'll be the designated hitter batting 7th, Willie Horton. 58 off of Russell, skies the center field. Is 3 runs going to be enough for Dandy Don Sutton? Against most teams, it probably would be. But you got to be careful with the Kingmans and Buckners and Heidi Cruzes of the world. And speaking of that, here is Dave Kingman. 2-4 flies the center. Bill Buckner, 2-10 rolls to the pitcher. And Jerry Morales, 2-8 is a single. Runner at first, 2 outs for Rafael Ramirez. 63, first X, but you got Garvey, a 1 first baseman, makes the play. Bottom of 2, Rafael Landistoi. 68 is a base hit off of Russell's card. Sosha will do a hit and run. And it is a hit and run single. The Dodgers got everything going their way early. Runners on the corners, nobody out. They got to bring it up for Davey Lopes. 1-3, let's take a look at the Davey Lopes card. Is 1979, 28 homers. Last big year, 1980 and 81 would be a struggle for Davey, but 1-3 is gone, and just like that, it is 6-0 with only 3 outs recorded by Rick Russell, and it could be a nightmare. Now, what do? I mean, what can you do? I mean, you have nobody really better than this guy, and you can't bring in Bruce Sutter in the second inning. You just gotta deal with it. Maybe it's just a learning experience for the Cubs. Who knows? So here we go. 6-0 game. Russell isn't going anywhere. And here's Kirk Gibson. 5-10 left. Well, there's an out. That's a good sign for the Cubs. Steve Garvey. 57's a K, and with 2 outs, it is Reggie Smith. 4-10, another hit off Russell. Triple on a 4 single. It is a single. And with 2 outs, Dusty Baker, who homered in the first. 2-6 is a fly ball to center. Well, 6-0 game for Sutton. This thing seems over. So the Cubs are going to need some incredible luck over the next 7 innings. Let's see if it starts here with Dave McKay. 2-7 strikes out. Mike Sadik. 1-8 grounds a short. And with 2 outs, it's Heidi Cruz. 5-10 is catcher's card, and this is Sosha, a 2 catcher. He makes the play. Okay. Bottom of the 3rd. Ron Say leads off. 42, second X. Dave McKay, a 3-14, makes the play. Willie Horton, here's a who. 49, again off Russell's card. They're done. A double 1-2 base hit. You know, you might just want to pull him just to get a different pitching template, because they're just getting a ton of this stuff off of the Russell's card. And that's just bad luck. The more they can say about that. Rafael Landistoi. 58 lines a second, and with 2 outs, it's Sosha. 2-5, pops to second, and a scoreless inning for the Dodgers. We go to the 4th. Bobby Mercer. 46 is going to be a single. Cubs have the leadoff man on, B. Steeler, but he's not going to steal now. Against Sosha with a -1 arm, down 6 runs. Enos Cabell. 48 off of Sutton. His single 1-9, need to get it. He gets it. A 5, a break. Now the Cubs see an opening here. 2 singles to start the 4th. Got to get something in this inning. And here's your boy. Dave Kingman got half the lead with 1 swing. The pitch to Dave Kingman. 1-11. Let's take a look at the Dave Kingman card. It's not all bad news, folks. Your 1979 Dave Kingman, 48 home runs and a 288 average. his, breakthrough year, finally, or I don't know how you want to describe it. Had a nice year in the 80s. I think he had a good year in 84 with Oakland, I thought. But yeah, he finally has a monster year with a batting average and the homers. And yeah, but 111 is still a walk. Could have been worse. Didn't get the 3-run homer, but we got the bases loaded. And it's going to be batting champion Bill Buckner. 211 for Buckner as a liner to second base. Now you got Jerry Morales. 47 off of Sutton is double one. Fly ball the rest. And no, he does not get the one, of course. But it is a sac fly. And the Cubs are on the board. 2 on, 2 outs. Rafael Ramirez. 511 off of Sutton is pitcher X. He's an E14 pitcher. And he makes the play. So, unfortunately for the Cubs, they load the bases with nobody out. Can only squeeze through 1 run. Bottom of the 4th. It'll be Davey Lopes. 2-8. Saw the card earlier. Triple 1-4 single. It is a base hit. And yeah, he's going to steal a base. You got to keep running and rolling while you have a lead. He gets the stolen base. He does not get a T rating for Sadik. Runner at second, nobody out for Kirk Gibson. 2-4, flies to center. Steve Garvey, 46, second X, the 3E14 at second base. The runner goes to third with 2 outs for Reggie Smith, who's been on with a single and a walk. 57, and Russell gets him the pop out. So Russell's doing better since the horrendous start. 6-1 in the 5th. Dave McKay. 46 off of Sutton, base hit. Sutton's starting to show some signs of weariness as he's allowed 4 men on in the last 7 batters. Mike Sadik. 311 is a hit by the pitch. Here come the Cubs again. They get the first couple guys on. And it's Heidi Cruz, another guy who can hit a 3-run homer. The pitch to Heidi Cruz. 1-8 is a strikeout. Misses the homer roll by 1. Bobby Mercer. 1-8 Bobby Mercer. Let's take a look at the Bobby Mercer card of 1978. 281, 9 homers and 570 plate appearances for the Cubs. Homer 1-12, fly ball the rest, and he gets the home run, Bobby Mercer. And the Cubs have come back. We got a baseball game. Sutton can't believe it. It is the kryptonite of Don Sutton, keeping the ball in the park, even though that one wasn't on his card. A big 3-run homer, and we got a 6-4 game. Break up the Cubs. It'll be Enos Cabell. 66, pops to second. And with 2 outs, it's Dave Kingman. 2-8, we saw the card earlier. This is Homer 1-8. Fly ball the rest, and I cannot get that one, though. Tough break again for the Cubs. Misses a Homer 1-8 shot on his card, turns it into a fly ball. But oh, these Cubs are confident. They feel it. They left men on in both innings. Or they left opportunities in both innings to tie this thing, and it's the 2-run game. And we're right back to thinking about now you could probably pull Russell if he continues to get knocked around. But he's pitched well in the last couple innings, so we will monitor the situation. Jeff Zahn's not available. He'd be a nice pitcher. Dennis Kinney's a decent lefty. Joe McLaughlin's a good righty. So we'll just let Russell go. He is their ace. Bottom of the 5th. Dusty Baker. 35, grounds to short. Ron Say, 64, pops to first, and with 2 outs. Willie Horton. 2-5, grounds to short. What is that sound you hear but the gasping from the Dodger fans? What's going on? We had a nice easy 6-0 win, and now it's getting tight in LA. We go to the 6th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, top of the 6th. It'll be Bill Buckner leading it off. 35, let's take a look at the Bill Buckner card of 1980, your National League batting champion, 324. 578 at-bats, 10 home runs, 41 doubles, and he only struck out 18 times, folks. 18 strikeouts for the whole season for Bill Buckner. Amazing. He leads off, third inning in a row. We were talking about a quick hook for Russell. How about a quick hook for Sutton, who's looked like doo-doo recently? If they were to do that, you have Terry Forster and Howe as lefties with Castillo and Bruno as righties. But it seems like, you know, a huge mistake to lift the best Dodger pitcher. So it'll be Jerry Morales. 39 for Jerry Morales. Let's take a look at his card. 1981, hit 286 and 270 plate appearances. Not much power, but always good defensively. And his batting average is one of his highest of his career. 39 is singled out, and the Cubs are roaring again. The middle innings, they have just rebounded like it's a meaningful wild card game. And it is. Runners on the corners, nobody out. We don't have a breaking option this late in the game for Sutton as he pitched so well early. He's a starter 7. But he's responsible for the tying runs. Runners are on the corner. With a 2-run lead, they're still going to play back and not hold the slow-footed Morales. Here's Rafael Ramirez. 2-7 is a strikeout. Now you got to bring it up because you got the A-bunting Dave McKay. 39, let's take a look at this guy. Dave McKay was a Toronto Blue Jay in 1978 with 524 plate appearances. Oh, he hit 238 with 7 home runs. But somebody had to pick him up in the draft. He played third base for the Cubs last year, and they didn't like him there, and they moved him over to second because they brought Enos Cabela in to play third. But here, the biggest hit in the Dave McKay tenure in Chicago is a single to center field. Jerry Morales will hold at second. We got a 1-run game. What is going on in LA? First and second with 1 out. I think you have to leave Sutton in here to take a loss. Don't bail him out. Force him to be humiliated by blowing a 6-0 game. So Sutton continues. Tommy Lasorda in the dugout with his arms crossed, saying some profanities, of course. Here's the pitch to Mike Sadick. 59, short X, but it's not Bill Russell on the bench today. And they have Landestoy there, a 4-14 shortstop. It's a ground ball B, so he does get a fielder's choice out of that. That puts Sadick at first, Morales at third as the tie run. And your batter is the dangerous Heidi Cruz. Let's take a look at this guy before he swings. My goodness, folks, Heidi Cruz. 1981, he only hit 229, but he made it count with 7 homers and 109 at-bats. The homers are on both sides. Hits for a better average against lefties, but frankly, we need the long ball. We need the long ball right now at a Heidi Cruz to give the Cubs the lead. The pitch to Heidi Cruz. 2-4 is a grounder to short. And the inning is over. But it is 6-5, and this game is getting more painful. 4 frames to go. Suter is limbering. Joey McLaughlin's been a good setup guy, and Kinney is good against lefties. But Rafael Landestoy is not the kind of hitter to encourage a pitching change. He will lead off in the bottom of the 6th. 4-10 off of Russell, 3rd time in the game. Fortunately, it's not a home run against lefties. It's triple 1-4, single ... And it is the single ... So they haven't even hit the triple with that result. That's a pretty good pitcher for Russell. When you roll the maximum hit and all you're getting is a single, that's a good sign. That could have easily been a homer, triple, or double versus most pitchers on that result. So Landestoy is on as a beast stealer. I think you're going to do the hit and run again. It worked last time. And Scioscia's outstanding as a hit and run player. So here comes a Mike Scioscia hit and run. It is, however, a 9. And oh, by the way, if he swung the bat, he would have hit a 2-run home run. Just for those out there who are wondering, on a roll of 1-7 and a roll of a 2. But there you go. We said hit and run, and it's a hit and run, and it's a failed one. So, a complete blunder. You don't hit and run, it's 8-5. You hit and run, and that speedy guy at first base is no longer there, and the slow-footed Scioscia is. So suddenly, the tilting of momentum is severe in this game. This was all Dodgers, and now it's all Cubs. It seems just like a matter of time before the Cubs win this game 10-7. That's how it's leaning anyway. Davey Lopes won't have any of it. He has been on 3 times. A homer, a walk, and a single. A runner at first, 1 out. The pitch to Davey Lopes. 33 to Lopes is a sky to center. And with 2 outs, it is Kirk Gibson. Let's take a look at Kirk. Yep, his 1981 Tiger card. Hit .328 in 300 plate appearances. Really, we got him to LA just because we know about him playing for the Dodgers late in the decade, and I don't play these Strat cards later in the decade, so I wanted to see Gibson in LA, so I made the trade happen sooner than it actually did. Interesting thing about this card is he crushes lefties more than righties, so Russell will continue, as Russell doesn't give up homers to lefties, as previously mentioned. So a runner, slow-footed runner at first with 2 outs. The pitch to Kirk Gibson. 34 is a bouncer to second base. We go to the 7th, a 6-5 game. Sutton's breaking inning. How long do you go with this guy after the slump? Is he going to be the pitcher the first 3 frames or these 3 frames? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 base runners. So he's still not at point of weakness, but he can in this inning if he puts 3 runners on. Bobby Mercer, 2 for 3 with a 3-run homer thus far. Pitch to Bobby. 6-10, short X. Here is, well, it's already set up. 40-14 shortstop, ground ball C. 1 out. Enos Cabell. 42 off Sutton, skies a center. And with 2 outs, it is Dave Kingman, who is 0 for 2 plus a walk. 39, he cashes in with a double 1-3, single ... Now Sutton can lose this thing. Buckner, Morales, Ramirez. The Cubs are right-handed heavy. They only have 3 lefties on the whole team. Bobby Mercer, Bill Buckner, and the switch-hitting Dave McKay. So it's not, bringing in Forster and Terry Howell only is a limited upside. And I think you're just going to have to let Sutton get out of this mess, at least for this inning. The pitch to Bill Buckner. 39 is a fly to right. Stretch time in LA. We are, of course, listening to the Steely Dan LP Gaucho from 1980. The last hurrah, the last rodeo for the group before they became even more reclusive, recording after that. After the 7 great records of the 1970s. So, bottom of the 7th of a 6-5 game. I could bring in Suter now. He is a relief too. And I do have, who do I like here? Is there any lefty reason to bring in a lefty at all in this? You have Garvey, Smith, Baker, Say, Horton. There really is no reason to bring a lefty in until you face Mike Scioscia way down there. And Russell's a starter 7, and he's settled down since the first 2 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. When you think about it, I left Sutton in, and Russell's only faced 1 more batter than Sutton. So I'm going to use that same level of consideration here for the grizzled veteran starter aces of each team. Go with my ace theory. He's the ace, so you have to go with the ace. So Russell will continue into the 7th. A clearly losable game is a potentially winnable game now for him. Here is Steve Garvey. 37 is a sky to center field. Reggie Smith, 6'11", short X. This is, Ramirez is a 3E44 at short, and it's an error. B. Steeler being held on. Baker isn't as good against lefties. Ron Say destroys lefties, and basically you have 3 righties in a row. So I think Russell will continue. Again, you need to get 3 batters on other than an error to break him. So he will face Dusty Baker. 1-5 is a 5 to 4 to 3 double play. Rick Russell Clearly out pitching Don Sutton since the second inning. And oh boy, folks, buckle up. 2 more frames to go of a pending classic here. 6-5 game, Cubs-Dodgers in the 8th inning. Now you're getting to that bottom of the Cub lineup. Morales has power against lefties, so you don't. And Ramirez is better against lefties. McKay has power against lefties. So I think again you go with Sutton. Yeah, Don Sutton will continue against Jerry Morales. 64 is a bouncer to short, but that was a huge mistake. They didn't bring in defense at shortstop. They had Bill Russell just withering on the bench. They left Rafael Landistoi in as a 4-14 shortstop, but he makes the play. Very big break for the Dodgers. Speaking of Rafael shortstops, here's Rafael Ramirez. 1-4 flies to center, and with 2 outs, it's Dave McKay. 2-4 for Dave McKay. You saw the card earlier, folks. He's got triple 1-17 double there. He doesn't get the triple. He misses the triple 1-17, and he's at second base. So now you're going to need a single at that to score him. And you could now go to a lefty to get Mike Sadik out of there, but then they have Jose Cardinal on the bench and Stan Pappy and Buck Martinez. So no. You have to go with a righty here. You got to pitch Sadik. Sadik doesn't have power, and so Sutton doesn't have to worry about a go-ahead home run. So he will pitch to Mike Sadik with 2 outs in the 8th and tying run at second base. The pitch to Mike Sadik. 39 is a fly to left field. Oh boy. Bottom of the 8th. The starting pitchers are still in this game. You got Say. I think he pitches the Say, and then we go to the pen here. So I'll pitch to Ron Say. 3-11 is a fly ball to right. Now you got Horton, who's better against righties. Let's take a peek here at the pen. I mean, I could go Suter, but now I'm starting to think this thing might go extra innings. I think we're going to go bring in yeah, you want a lefty in there for the next 3 guys. We'll go with we're going to go Kenny Holtzman. Or he used to be a Cub, then he went to Oakland, and now he's back. So 7 1/3 for Russell, and we're pulling him. And somewhat of a surprise move here. 22 thirds. And Ken Holtzman will come on in the 8th inning to face Willie Horton, who really is not that great against lefties other than the home run on his card. The pitch to Willie Horton. 1-4 is a fly ball to center, and with 2 outs, Landistoi, and batting for Landistoi, it'll be Bill Russell, who will also be the new shortstop. He can't hit a home run. He doesn't have power. The pitch to Bill Russell. 4-10 off of Holtzman is third X. This is Enos Cabell at third. It's a 2-E-19 at third base. And he gets a single off the 2, so we got a man on. Russell's a good base stealer. No, he's not. He's a C. He used to be an A or B. He's a C. And now this is what the Cubs want. You got Socha in there. He can't hit lefties. So they're going to take him out and bring in Alex Trevino, the backup catcher. And in doing that, now it's time for Mr. Bruce Sutter to get into the game. If they take the lead of the 9th, he would be the winning pitcher. So here is, finally, because you have to look at him, Bruce Sutter coming on in the 8th inning. He could probably go 3 innings if needed, if it goes extras. He comes on in the 8th with a runner at first and 2 outs, and he'll face Alex Trevino, the backup catcher for the Dodgers. And here's the pitch to Trevino. 4-11 off of Sutter. Flies to right X. This is Mercer. He's still good defensively. He's a 2-E-6 in right field. And it is caught, and the inning is over. There's one more defensive move the Dodgers can make before we start the 9th inning. And that is to put Jim Norris, a solid corner defensive outfielder, in right field take Willie Horton out. Reggie Smith be the DH. We go to the 9th inning. Jeez, I think. Let's go think about this one more time. Do you let Sutton pitch to... I think I might just go Steve Howe now. Steve Howe does not give up homers to righties. So I'm going to go Steve Howe. Sutton, we've really extended his stay, as I like to say. We're going to go Steve Howe in the 9th inning. So Sutton leaves after 8. It's kind of fitting that these guys don't go to the 9 innings. They did get knocked around quite a bit today. So in a 6-5 game, Steve Howe will come on in the 9th inning. He's got the deal with Heidi Cruz. Same power potential, both sides, really. But the big moment is Bobby Mercer, because you can't pinch hit for him, because if you bring in Jose Cardinale, they go back to a righty. So they're going to have Steve Howe in the 9th inning, pitch to Heidi Cruz. And here's the pitch. 5-12 off of Howe is roller to first. Big out in the 9th. Now you got Mercer, has a 3-run homer today. He's decent, not great. He's okay against lefties. And again, your pinch hitting options, because he's left-handed, are Stan Pappy, Jose Cardinale, and Buck Martinez. Now, if you were to pinch hit Jose Cardinale, Hal's gone. They'll take Steve Howe out because Cardinale hits 340. Buck Martinez has plenty of power. Any of these pinch hitters you bring in, you gotta let Bobby Mercer bat. It's Bobby Mercer. I know Steve Howe's really good against lefties. Oh, man. I don't know about that. Yep, Bobby Mercer's going to hit away. Boy, that was a painful choice. I mean, as good as these guys are against lefties, you bring in Bobby Castillo, who's an outstanding reliever, and these guys are nothing against righties. So, Bobby Mercer will hit away. The pitch to Bobby Mercer. 56 off the Howe card is a single to right field, and that was the right call. Holy smokes. If you look at the Howe card, I'll flash it up there again for you, folks. 56 is a single, mysteriously, against lefties, but it's a fly ball against righties. So that's a huge break for the Cubs. And now you also have to hold Bobby Mercer, a B stealer. Now you got Cabell and Kingman. Cabell does not have power against righties, so I'll let Howe pitch to Cabell. And most certainly after that, we'll bring in Castillo to face Kingman. I'm not going to let Kingman face a lefty. So, speedy runner at first being held on. Pluses are in play. And your batter is Enos Cabell. 65 off of Howe is a sky to center field. And with 2 outs, folks, you know it's coming. Here's your deciding moment of the game in the hands of Dave Kingman. So, Steve Howe, nice seeing you. Have a nice day. Enjoy the dugout. He's coming out of the game, and it's going to be Bobby Castillo, a right-hander. They have their choice of Castillo or Tom Bruno. Bruno gives up more home runs. Bobby Castillo. Let me give you Howe and Castillo's numbers. Howe was 7-9 with a 2.65 ERA in 1980, and Castillo 8-6 with a 2.76 ERA in 1980. They were the top 2 ERAs on the Dodgers in the 1980 season. This, for a trip to the divisional series here, you've got the tie run at first. The lead run is Dave Kingman. We'll flash the card up again, folks. Dave Kingman's monster card. 1-8-9-3-5. He rolled a 2-8 today and missed it on homer 1-8. Can Dave Kingman hit the Cubs into the divisional series? The pitch to Dave Kingman. 47 off Castillo is a strikeout, and the Cubs fall a run short. The Dodgers get the win. What a tough finish there. But the Dodgers get the win. 6-5. Both starters, it turns out, taking the starters out and going to the pens, both offenses puttered out. It was the right move. Really, 6-0. give the Cubs a ton of credit for making this thing interesting, getting 5 runs in 3 innings off of Sutton. You had 2 men left on in the 4th. Kingman misses a home run in the 5th. You left 2 men on in the 6th. And you put guys on in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. You had your chances, Cubs. Could not finish off the task. But what a classic wild card game. That was outstanding. One of the best, I think that was the best of the 4 wild card games I just played right there. Castillo gets the save, actually. Sutton gets the win. Castillo strikes out Kingman. A hit and 3 batters for Hal. And Sutton's final line in 8 innings gave up 10 hits and 5 runs. They were all earned. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Suter came on. Got the final out in the 8th. Bill Russell got a single off of Kenny Holtzman. And Russell in 7 in the 3rd has to take the loss. He was up 9 hits and 6 runs, and it happened really quickly. Couple walks. I mean, we had a guy thrown out stealing too. So we helped Russell out by getting a guy thrown out stealing. He would give up another walk, another hit, and a 3-run homer, and another 3-run homer in the 2nd inning. The Baker homer is off of the Russell card. The Lopes homer is off of his card. Just too much early in this game to overcome in a 1-game playoff. Final line 1019, 0108. 610, 511. 610, 511, 2521. Really, both teams, the Cubs put 13 men on base. Dodgers put 12 men on base, but they had a guy on with an error. So it was just literally a coin toss game. Kingman gets that home run here. On a 1-8, we're still playing baseball. So, heck of a wild card game. 1019, 0108, 610, 511, 2521. That is 63. And that means that the Dodgers have a date with Portland. And that's what they wanted all along. They knew if they win, they'd get a cupcake, as Portland had an outstanding regular season record, but it was against teams in their own division. So we don't particularly think they're a very strong team, but that's how it works some years. Most of the time, those 4 expansion teams just kind of play 500 ball against each other, and yeah. But for some reason, Portland and Las Vegas played exceptionally. So your Dodgers, they're only 17-14. But now they're in a great opportunity to make up for a lackluster regular season with a nice postseason run here. Hitting .260 with an ERA of 4. Sutton improves to 6-3. Hal has 5 saves. Castillo just got his 2nd one. Not a tremendous amount of power. You have a bunch of guys with 6 or 7 home runs, which is nice that they're spreading it out. They actually have 6 guys with 6 or 7 home runs. That's pretty impressive, actually. They don't have one guy doing all the damage for the Dodgers. But the Cubs get knocked out, and they actually had a better record than the Dodgers. What a shame. The Cubs finish 17-13, hitting .268 with a 4.54 team ERA. Russell also finishes 6-3 with a loss, same record as Sutton. Bruce Suter, 11 saves, 1 earned run in 17 innings, 6 walks, 24 strikeouts. Just never got a lead. Really never had a chance, really. Down 6-0. Just a worst case scenario for the Cubs. Couldn't get their best player into the game in a gainful time. Dave Kingman did not hit a homer in that game, was 1 for 4, but he finishes with 11 homer and 37 RBI in 30 games. What a great regular season. Heidi Cruz had 9 homers. And Bill Buckner, if you're wondering, was 34 for 125. 272, that's not going to cut it. It's very disappointing for a batting champion to fall to 272. Well, that's it, folks. Thanks for checking out the final wild card game. When we resume, we will get into the divisional series. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.